the thing about that is they love. So my remote job is a fitness studio out of San Francisco, and the thing about San Francisco, and they all train busy parents and professionals over the age of 40. Do you think any of them even knows what a Twitch is?
Yeah, I would honestly assume that they don't.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, so if for me to do any sort of live streaming or podcasting for them, it's obviously gonna be it's obviously gonna be on Facebook because that's how they know, that's how they do. Let me double check from the mobile phone if it's working. Does the stream look like it's working on your end?
Yep, I see both of us at the moment.
Awesome. Perfect. A little behind the scenes action. So as we talk, we'll just kind of go over stuff. We'll just have fun with it, bounce back and forth. Um, I assume pronouns she her.
Yep.
Okay. So do I go by shoot name or do I go by Starfall when I talk to you?
Starfall is preferred.
Starfall's preferred. You got it. This is why I asked. All right. Cool. And then let me just go ahead and I just want to check something while we're just kind of getting warmed up here. Um, I'm gonna see if I could bust out a doc. I'm trying to look for a way to get my chat log in here because I used to have it on here. Um, okay. I'll worry about that later. I'll just use the phone for now. And then I'll just see if we have everyone in the chat going on. Okay, so my chat's up. It's fired up. Oh, I can hear myself. Okay. Before we get started, do you have any questions for me? Any last minute jitters? Any last minute questions for plans of world domination?
Make cosplay fuck bitches.
Make cosplay fuck bitches. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
See, just getting this shared quickly as well.
Thank you,
Load
thank
in.
you. Load in. All right, looks like it's sweep in and ready for me on my end. I'm gonna go ahead and in Discord I'll go ahead and lock the room really quick.
All right, got it shared on two spots.
Nice. We got this. Okay. I believe we are ready to go. Whoops. All right. I'm ready to rock. So, I'm going to go ahead and hit record and we're just going to run through
Alrighty.
it. Feel free to do any bloopers at all. I'll take the whole recording and post. So, basically, how I usually do this is I'll hit the hook. I'll have like a 3, 2, 1, and I just jump right back in because that's where I'll put my title card in, title drop, and then we just roll.
Okay.
All right, God, I'm excited. All right, here we go. Hitting that record in. Also, I'm gonna check this really quick. Okay, I call this my blooper snap. So anytime we feel like I got a flub or I gotta do an outtake, I'll basically do this. I'll explain why later.
Okay.
All right. It's time to rule the anime cons with our special guest today, Miss Starfall Cosplay. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Heroes Forge podcast, where we help millennial geeks, gamers, and cosplayers live their best life and change their worlds. I am Troy Bushido, longtime geek, avid D&D player, Xbox streamer, cosplayer, 2000 otaku. So yeah, Starfall, you're gonna have to catch me up on anime because you are the queen of the anime scene. How are you doing this evening?
Not so bad. Feeling busy, but we've got time for everything.
Are you sure about that? Because like you told me you have three 3D printers running right now.
Yeah, and most of them should be done within a couple days, so they get to take a break soon.
Oh, thank gosh, thank God. We'll plug your Etsy in on our way out, but just if you could share what is on the burners, what is on the 3D printers at the moment.
Currently, we have a Johnny Silverhand arm from Cyberpunk 2077.
Whoa.
Yeah. Then from the anime Kill La Kill, I have both a Scissor Blade and the Secret Sword Bakuzan that I 3D modeled for some customers.
Ooh, that's insane.
Then a full functioning set of, well, not like functioning, but like full detail and everything, set of the 3D maneuver gear from Attack on Titan. And then
How
to
did
my,
you figure out how to print this?
I have to go through and model it, so I kind of think of it on the fly as I'm doing all the designs.
Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off. What was the last thing?
Last one is a set of jewelry and shoes for the Monster High character. What was it? Rochelle Goyle, I think was the name.
Wow. Jeez. So I don't even know where to begin with you. You're already cranking these out, uh, taking commissions. How long have you been 3D printing?
Oh God, 3, maybe 4 years now, I want to say.
Oh, that's insane. That is insane. And you've been part of the anime convention scene for a good minute. Like how long have you been how long have you been going to cons and how long have you been actually cosplaying?
I've been cosplaying for maybe mm, 10 or so years and doing cons since high school.
Wow. Wow. What back in those days, what made you want to jump into cosplay back then? Cuz I know like back 10 years, 12 years ago, cosplay was a little bit more niche. It was a little bit more it was a little less accessible than it is right now. What originally inspired you to try it, and how were those first couple times you're cosplaying?
So my beginning story is not like the happiest, and it's not one that I normally talk about. I was taken to my first convention by some friends who are like, "Hey, you've been down lately. We just want to get you out and help you feel better." The thing that those friends did not know at the time is that was the night I planned to go home and
Oh no.
yep. So like they took me there and like I was still in like my princess costume from work because I worked at this place where like we had to dress up and play with the kids and all that jazz.
Wow.
And walk around even just like a generic princess. I was getting like all these compliments. I'm like, hey, you look amazing. And it's like, why are these people being nice to me? I don't understand.
Wow. That is
Um,
amazing.
It helped.
Does that still kind of help you all throughout your time doing this? Has that still been kind of a big inspiration to keep
Yeah.
on rolling?
With that helped me be like, there's good things happening. And so like I dove into cosplay and conventions. And as the time just kept going on, my parents like, I want to be able to give back somehow. So like I opened my shop and I've been selling patterns and models for cheap. I've been running panels on educational topics and just doing whatever I can.
That's so awesome. That's excellent. And keep in mind, like I knew a little bit of whenever we talk about these superhero stories, and this the brand when we do this type of podcast is unleashing everyone's inner hero, and we see the person, we see the awesomeness. Like we see your Instagram, and we're like, dang, that's awesome. We see you at these conventions. A little behind the scenes with the audience, I did not know the depth of her origin story. So the first time that you guys heard this origin story from Starfall is the first time I've ever heard of it. I personally just revered the living hell out of you, and I was just like, man, this girl's so awesome, and to be in the same room as you sometimes is like, how you doing? How are you doing? Because you look like a queen. Either you're super happy or super stressed because you're running the kingdom, but you are the queen. How are you doing, and how can I help you? So that's always that's always the energy that I always feel with you when I'm around you. It's like, dang, star eyes emojis is what it is. So I think first off, thank you for sharing the origin story. I know that was not an easy story to tell, and if you telling it for the first time, I completely appreciate that. That took me aback hard, but it's gonna make this talk even more powerful because it's obviously everything we do has to do with making ourselves feel good about ourselves in the world and even when we're by ourselves. And this is the reason why I first thought of you when I was like, man, when I do these podcasts again, it ain't just gonna be me rambling in front of a microphone, even though I'm doing that right now, because holy shit, I'm nervous. But I wanted to bring in awesome people like you to really inspire as many people as we can. We change our world. It may not be a big world, but we're gonna change it.
Right? We've got our community and we like to keep them close.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's go back to just kind of how the community is feeling. So you've done this cosplay for a very, very, very long time, and how has the scene changed over the years, and how has it stayed the same? What are some of the good things you've seen grow? What are some of the good things you hung on to? What are some things that have come to attention that we have to like not fix, but you know, adjust?
I'd say one of the good changes is definitely cosplay has become much more accessible to people. Like there
Yes.
are like hundreds now of companies selling costumes, wigs, shoes, and props, and it's just like I am so jealous of the kids now because we did not have that. If you wanted it, you had to make everything from the ground up.
And people wondered why I only cosplay for 3 years. It's because like I didn't have when I went to cons, I didn't know how to sew.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. So to double back a little bit, and we'll go back into the scene a little bit. But when you first started cosplaying, was it was it DIY fabric? Were you armoring? Like what were some of the initial crafts you did way back in the day to sell a
All
kit?
fabric.
All fabric, baby. Um,
I've been sewing for maybe God, 15 years.
wow, that's insane. That's, you know what? Stick into a craft, man. That's it. Do you do a lot of? Do you still do a lot of sewing? Do you still do a lot of your own work, or have you took on things that are available out in the world?
I've started to become a bit more 50-50 because like sometimes I'll look at something and I'll be like, I want to wear that, but there's no way in hell I want to make that right now.
Yeah.
And honestly, it helps because then it's like, okay, that's a small thing I want to buy. I can buy that while I focus on my contest piece and just roll like that.
Yes, yes, yes. It's and rolling right into that. Have you competed in cosplay competitions and stuff? Because I could have sworn I saw you on
I've
stage.
been competing for, oh God, math, 7 years now.
Wow, 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 wow. And so, has it been predominantly like anime conventions? Have you done like Comic Cons and stuff like that?
Majority anime conventions. I tried a comic convention once, but I didn't like the style of judging comic conventions do because it's not down to the craftsmanship nitty-gritty.
You're right. You're right. Because the thing about like cosplay in Western Comic Con style versus like anime cons, and just being an observer, the art of turning 2D into real life is an art. Like when we see some artists out there like designing these characters, and I'm looking at them like this was not meant to be worn in 3 dimensions.
Pretty much. There's some character designers that it's like, no, screw you. You did this on purpose.
Name them, name them. I will go ahead in editing. I will put those pictures up. Like, what are some of the example of anime characters that you came across that are like
Oh,
that's a cosplayer's nightmare?
oh God. What was the name of it? I think it was like Stone something. Oh God. See, this is where I'm gonna completely fall apart because names are not my
That's
forte. It's
okay.
like
That's
that
okay.
that person. I know what you look like.
Fair enough.
Oh,
Fair enough.
some of them. Oh. good easy one. My Hero. Some of the outfits in there are just like this is not supposed to work on the human body this way.
No. Yeah. So a funny story. One of the cosplayers who got me originally into the scene. I started by myself a little bit, and then getting even deeper in. There was this cosplayer. Shout out to Zombie. She actually sold me the first couple cosplays I did. But she did an Uraraka cosplay, and her friend made her boots. Then we realized, oh wait, those boots weren't actually designed for bent knees and bent ankles.
Yep.
And so poor Brie, I'm sure there's videos out there to this day of her just like waddling like she's Forrest Gump with the leg braces on. Like, Brie looked adorable, but she had the "I'm trying to run, Jenny" stride going, and yeah, that was one I had in mind. And some of those hero costumes in My Hero are nuts. Like, I, I personally I wear Professor Aizawa just based on sheer comfort. Like, you look
Right?
chill. And then there was a time where I was like, I want to wear Bakugo stealth suit, and I'm like, I don't know how to make the grenade launcher hands.
I've got them.
I
I
know you
love
do.
them,
I know
but
you do.
they
I'm
you
jealous.
cannot grab stuff unless you go for a very specific angle and just like plop and pick up.
The Bakugo stealth suit is my dream cosplay. Um,
It's so beautiful.
oh yeah. Well, aside, and keep in mind, we are outline script. We will go off script. We don't have a script, but like, I am so bitter the fact that they only showed like how many minutes over the stealth suits? Like what, 5?
5 minutes. I was so pissed because we were in theaters watching that. I'm just like, I love this suit. I can't wait to see for the rest of the movie. Gone.
And I'm like, what the heck? Was that just to sell action figures? What the flying hell? Um,
That's honestly what we think. It was just there for promotion.
well, the worst part is like even Captain America, he wore his stealth suit for at least a third of the movie before he switched out. Like, and side note, for those of you who know who the Winter Soldier's that Captain America stealth suit he wore when he went on the boat, that was an awesome suit. It gave me that vibe when I saw the Three Musketeers in their stealth suits, and I'm like, and then
Yeah,
nothing, and we're like, but those are good suits.
they were so nice.
Oh jeez. What's your? Let me ask you this. But going into cons, if we had like a convention tomorrow, what would be like the most competitive cosplay, like boom bamboozle cosplay you would wear, just to kind of stop, drop, roll, win a contest, and then what would be the most comfortable cosplay you'd wear?
Ooh, comfort, I would say that is currently my version 2 rarity build. And
Nice.
I can't bring that one into contest anymore because I already won, so drat.
That's how it
Ooh,
goes.
most complex. She's not done yet, but I'm still working on the Sunset Dragon Spyro. And the main thing that's taking me forever is I've been hand sewing all of the metal scales.
Oh my lord! Like scale work, ring mail work. That
A ring
is.
mail, yep.
Oh, I don't envy that situation. Shout out to one of my cosplay buddies out there, DCW Builds, who also did ring mail work for two Witcher cosplays. One the default look, and then he went to Crown, wearing the School of the Bear armor. And for those who don't have played Witcher 3, School of the Bear armor is some chunky armor. You're meant to tank. That's a lot of yeah. So, how long does it take you to do a lot of those like intricacy style cosplays?
Depends on the cosplay. I've been working on Spyro for about 4 years now.
Oh my lord!
Yep.
Oh, you can't 3D print your way out of that one.
No, I wish.
Done by hand, by hand, by hand. Oh boy! Notice how we just went off tangent about the scene itself, and we're like, so yeah, we know the scene's accessible. Has anime conventions, particularly, gotten bigger and bigger and bigger since you first started?
Oh God, yeah. When I first started, initial dice shows, they were like a 2K con, and then before they died, they jumped up to be maybe I want to say 8.
Okay, wow.
And now like Amki is at 15 and we're just zooming.
Yes, yes, and as I reset my camera to get the blur out, when she says we, it's the sheer fact that she is also a convention organizer. So when I said I'm bringing Queen of the Anime Cons, my friends, I'm not joking. I wasn't joking. This is the Queen of the Midwest Anime Cons. She is the organizer of not only Anime Milwaukee, which is one of the best anime cons I've actually been to, like straight up, and I ain't kissing your ass either. Um, don't get me wrong. Your other convention, Colossicon North, which was what was the con that was there originally before CCN took a
That
class?
was Daisho.
Daisho. Okay, so it was Daisho became Colossicon North, which was what, an offshoot of the Colossicon in Sandusky, right? If I'm knowing
Yep,
my
that
organization.
is the OG one that's usually called Prime.
Yeah, they love Prime. It's such an awesome name, Prime. Colossicon Prime. But so you've been part of, how long you been organizing cons? And now we know how long you cosplay. Now being the queen of the con, tell me a little bit about like how long that's been. What is your duty or title within a con?
I started helping run cons back in 18. I
Wow.
started out as panel staff because like I've run so many that it's like, okay, yeah, it'll be easy to help new panelists get in. And my first year, I pretty much got a field promotion to assistant manager.
Oh wow.
And then the next year, it was like made official that I was an assistant manager. So like, okay, yeah, you get to go through now, look at the submissions that come in, see if there's something we want. And then the year after is when they moved me in charge of the masquerade for Anime Milwaukee.
Yes.
And they keep growing because now for Amki, I am also in charge of photo room, fan meetups, and next year we might be helping with cosplay combat chess.
I want to do cosplay combat next year.
It is so much fun. I recommend it for anyone if they just want like to fill 2 hours of a really fun game.
Oh yeah. I certainly, and gosh, so yeah, the scene got big in the. Whew, I'm just like thinking in my head. Yeah, it's grown so much. And we'll definitely talk about this today, just kind of how to navigate the world of anime cosplay, anime cons. We'll obviously, so a lot of what we'll talk about will apply to like other cons, gaming cons, comic cons, but we'll go specifically anime because that's just kind of, this is our queen's wheelhouse. Um, and what are some of the big differences with the vibe and the energy of an anime con compared to a comic con?
I would say anime cons are much more accepting of any medium that comes in because
Ooh.
you'll see anime, gaming, comics, and books all joining the same stage. Sometimes we even get Broadway comes in, while at like Comic Cons, I usually mostly see comics and like DC or Marvel
Yeah.
movies and very little of anything outside of there, if at all.
Which is ironic because you would think the anime, like from an outsider's perspective, I thought the anime con was going to be far more niche. It was going to be anime and gaming. Uh, and when you had me do MC work for the anime meetups, I also get the list. I'm like, what the heck is Dungeons and Dragons doing here? Holy shit! The size of this Dungeons and Dragons meetup. And then, by the way, side note, I've been on a massive D&D kick. I know I know everyone knows me as a D&D guy, but I've been, man. But yeah, I was surprised at the openness and the less niche assumption that I had about anime conventions. Maybe I'm just imagining it. I could have sworn at Amki I saw a Hamilton cosplay.
Yep, that was probably Sparrow Styles. They are one of our resident Hamilton cosplayers in the area, and I love the attention to detail they do with their clothing.
Oh man, I wasn't imagining it. I'm like, I wasn't just a delusion because we are all tired for a whole weekend.
No, perfectly real.
Oh wow. So yeah, for those who weren't there, like the meetups we had at Amki was like, so we had the anime, we had niche anime, we had generalized anime, we had uh, gaming, we had Marvel DC, which again, wall to wall, like Marvel versus DC was wall to wall in that area. Um, Dungeons and
Love it.
Dragons. Oh yeah, it was so huge. And then I remember we capped off, what was it, Saturday night with the onesie and Kig meetup,
Yep, pajama meetup.
the pajama meetup, and I'm like, even that was huge. So it was a surprising amount of acceptance at anime cons where maybe it's I hate to use this word. I really hate to use this word, but maybe because the amount of normies that are at the comic cons, they are a little less receptive of more broader niches because they're just gonna be like, I don't know what that is. Spider Man, Spider Man, Spider Man, Spider Man. Who's that guy with the wings on? Vaxel Don, Critical Role. Spider Man, and so I I want to be very inclusive, so I don't want to use the word normies and be like, man, those non nerds don't know what the heck this is. But like, I think maybe at anime cons we're just so, it was almost part of the territory of like, yeah, we're gonna go in some, we're gonna go in some territory here. We're gonna go in some weird stuff.
Yep. I've noticed majority of the time the anime fans who are like they main anime, they still at least like pick a few outside things, while a lot of comic nerds I've known are just like, it's only this road, we don't go off a different path.
Oh yeah, unfortunately that's what I've noticed. Because like, but yeah, Marvel DC will stick with Marvel DC. Maybe because like there's a lot of material to cover. It's more familiar to them. The vibes are more familiar to them. The mainstream media is more familiar to them. There's just more content for them to absorb, take in, talk about. Um,
And like
where
I can understand that a lot of Marvel and DC you have like the specific storylines that they can purely follow. Well, if you jump into like anime and gaming, we have like 1,000 stories for the
yeah,
same little thing.
yeah, maybe it's the belief that the world is bigger is what makes the vibe of the anime con just a little bit more welcoming, a little bit more open because I think maybe and I'm just throwing assumptions out here. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm somewhat new to the anime scene, the anime convention scene. Um, I think maybe from what I've observed, it's like anime fans, they know that they don't know everything. They know that there's going to be a lot of fandoms that just woo, um, and it's more of that open curiosity of like, well, for one thing, your cosplay is awesome. Two, what is this? Should I watch this? Should I try this?
Yeah. Like one of my favorite cosplays I've done is Scanty Diamond, and I've gotten stopped so many times that I'm just like, I don't know what you are, but this looks so cool. And it's like, here's the character, here's the anime, here's a synopsis. Go watch it.
Bingo, 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 bingo. Which would probably be what he would hit me with if we were ever strangers, because I'm a 2000s era, I'm a Toonami era anime kid. So
Um,
I lost touch of anime after about 2011. So like I tried getting through Bleach, couldn't finish it, and then my interest went away for a little bit up until I started cosplaying in 2018. So I was at Toonami era, the Dragon Ball Z, Cowboy Bebop, Mobile Suit Gundam, that
I mean,
crowd.
I don't blame you. I have not finished Bleach, and I've started it like 4 or 5 times.
The thing about Bleach is like, wow, it should be faster paced than it is. It's Dragon Ball with swords, guys. It's not hard to write episodes for. It's not that hard. It freaking. I'm not an anime producer. I'm not the editor. I should not be the one bitching about it. But come on, guys, pick up the pace. Cut somebody. Um,
I felt the same about One Piece because there's what, over 1,000 episodes on that?
I swear to God, I have not watched a single episode of One Piece because I'm just intimidated. I am straight up intimidated. If somebody going off tangent in fandom, so Critical Role has a person named Danny Carr. She's known as the Lore Keeper. Her job is literally to blog summaries and then VO summaries of like a dozen episodes. They need a lore keeper for One Piece to just speed run
Yeah.
the casual that catches up. Um, so yeah, if anyone is like super into One Piece and you want to like make some mucho moolah on YouTube, be a Danny Carr, be a One Piece lore keeper. Catch the rest of us up, please.
It would help so much.
Oh God, we're not even talk. We're not even talking about cosplay yet, but we just got so much anime talk. And obviously, these questions I had a handful of questions for you, and then now I'm just thinking of more off the top of my head, so I apologize in advance. Um, so the one obscure cosplay you did was the anime the most obscure one you've ever shared that you had, or did you know? Do you have other very obscure anime that?
Um, I would say Panty and Stocking is probably the most obscure one I've done. It's like Code Geass has its own little cult fandom, so I don't really count that one as like super small.
There you go. There you go. There was one that was obscure that I shared, and everyone was like, "What the heck is that?" So I was last year. I was in a bit of a cyberpunk kick, and this was before Edge Runners came out. So there was outside of the '80s, cyberpunk anime was um was very obscure. Like the '80s had their cyberpunk kick, like after Blade Runner, and after that, no more cyberpunk. It was fantasy, 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 fantasy. And so there's this 10 episode miniseries called Akudama Drive, which is like the first cyber. It was a cyberpunk series that came out right before Edge Runners did, and I'm like, look, if you want a cowboy bebop punk noir anime where spoiler alert, no happy ending, except for maybe one. It's Game of Thrones. You're just wondering who dies next. I'm not spoiling
Oh,
much. That's Cyberpunk, where it's a complete story. I'd say yeah, go for Akudama Drive. It has the same vibe as Edge Runners because what a fifth of the cast gets the happy ending. Everyone else gets screwed or dies.
honestly, when you were saying Cyberpunk, my brain was just like, is he gonna say Space Pirate Captain Harlock?
Harlock's isn't Harlock an older anime like way back in the day? That's a
Yeah,
like what 90 like late '80s early '90s throwback.
yeah,
Th-
it's a favorite of mine though.
oh, I remember watching that on a VHS back when there were video stores. You know, anime and VHS was a little bit tough to find because not even the video stores knew what to do with it.
Yep, it just kind of sat there.
Yeah, yeah. Space Pirate Harlock. Oh my god, that's crazy. And then there's Bubblegum Crisis. That was a crazy one. Um, Record of Lodoss War. See, this is where my anime knowledge goes back. Like, you put me in modern, I gotta catch right the heck back up. But yeah. Oh god, we could talk about that all day. We gotta get back to IRL and get back to the cons, my lady. Whew. So one of the big reasons I brought you on here was to run the theme of bringing out our inner hero, making us feel great about ourselves, and no matter what environment we're in. I wanted to ask you a few things about not only creating awesome cosplays, beginner advanced tips, but like stuff about body image, things about to make you feel your best, things like that. So, mind if I run through it a little bit?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, all right. So, we'll go with the practical first, and then we'll go deep. Um, any like off the wall tips, just either for beginner anime cosplayers, and do you have any like super secret things that could have been events that you just kind of hacked the system?
Hmm. Like just getting or wearing the cosplay. Like, are we saying
Let's
like
start with the
crafting
build
or
first.
buying?
We'll start with the craft first.
Crafting,
Yeah.
make a mock-up and actually work on how it fits your body. That way, when you get to your final product, it's going to look nicer and tailored to yourself. And like not having your seams all janked up is going to make you feel so much better.
So, are there like resources online that talk about like creating like body mock-ups or like body like temporary body mannequins? Because it looks like that's going to be kind of a trick.
Yep, there are a lot of people who have made videos about mock-ups. I'm working on my own personal series for it. I just procrastination.
And business, that freaking Etsy's lighting on fire.
Yeah.
That's it's not all your fault. Good things happening. But yeah, so mock-ups, that's a huge beginner thing. It's funny. Like one of my boys, he was walking around like a duct tape mummy when my girlfriend visited him because it's like I'm making my mock-up, and
Yep.
and the biggest mistake I made when making mock-ups, I made my mock-up too tight. And when I'm trying to scissor out of my mock-up, Alex, my girlfriend, kept clipping me with the scissors. Like I had tiny little cuts going up my arm. I'm like, it ain't what you think it is. My girlfriend's just popping me with the damn scissors. Um, and I believe it was my fault because I think I either used the wrong tape or I think I used the wrong tape. I used clear tape instead of duct tape, so it shrunk wrap onto my arm. So um, while Alex could have be a little bit more careful on the scissors, there really wasn't much she can do. It was unless she could just dig a bone saw me out of that thing. That was oh my god.
Mm.
So yes, mock-ups and use duct tape. Don't use clear tape. Don't make my
Yep.
mistakes. What are any like crafting like hacks that like everyone seemed to think it was like the hardest thing to do, but you just kind of found a shortcut around it?
Mm, corsets.
Ooh, talk to me.
I use them for so many things, like even like regular items that you don't think would have some sort of corset or support garment underneath it. I generally have one built in underneath.
Oh wow.
Like I've got one for Danny and Bakugo, and those are just plain bodysuit cosplays. But having that extra support garment just kind of gives me the extra shape and lift that I really enjoy having personally.
Nice, nice. That's nobody realizes the power that's underneath certain suits and certain cosplays. From a male gender perspective, uh, even Superman had a little bit of muscle padding in his suit,
Yep.
and
Muscle padding. Plus, I know for him, they actually went in and while he was wearing it, they did some airbrushing just to figure out where muscle placement would be.
yeah, yeah, I've heard of that. I heard of that. And don't get me wrong, Henry Cavill was awesome shape as Superman, but like,
Woo.
oh yeah, ain't nobody. Okay, let me ask you this side tangent: are you a Henry Cavill as Superman fan, or are you a Henry Cavill as Geralt of Rivia fan?
I gotta say Rivel because his he looked wonderful in those pants.
Okay, so yeah, so Witcher. Those pants were what? A little bit tighter and a loose shirt, right?
Yeah.
Black on black, ran fair.
It
And
was good though.
if I could do a side tangent for us fellas, don't skip leg day, because leg
Mm.
day is booty day. We all love some man ass. Okay, we love having it or we just love it.
Yo.
Yeah. So, but like, oh yeah, I could definitely see that. And funny story for some of you comic fans out there. He switched personal trainers between Superman and Geralt. Uh, when the Rock's management company signed him, they gave him his trainer. So if you ever notice,
Mm.
like in Witcher, why he's just a little bit more built than he was in Superman, like the bathtub scene in the first season, he was a little bit more blocked up, right? It was just me.
Yeah, I think he was
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, because yeah, and I was like, yeah, it's because the Rock's trainer. Yep, that makes sense. Um, but okay, yeah. So making sure things fit with even inside the cosplay, um, and making sure that goes well. That's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing to keep in mind. I remember having certain body insecurities without things fitting well with me, and we'll talk more about that in a bit. But so yeah, beginner tip. I almost forgot our beginner tip. Mock up hack, advanced hack. Mind what's underneath the
Ooh.
suit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like you can make anything fit nicely to your body with just a little extra work. And I've seen a lot of people be like, oh, well, this is just a basic item. I don't need a mock-up. And it's like, I've seen plenty of people who where they'll think like I can just make this super big and then only take in the back of the garment. And then like the breast seams are way out the side, their side seams are way in their back, and you just have this weird triangle. It's like it does not look good, and it just really skews how their body looks underneath the garment.
Ooh. So this is probably gonna be more of an intermediate talk to not only even if you buy something, make sure you slap it on the mock-up, mind its form and shape on a 360 perspective. Don't just think.
Yep.
That makes a lot of sense. That definitely makes a lot of sense. Well, like going into the massive technicals, if you were to assess, like you slap a store bought cosplay onto your mock up to adjust for yourself, what are some of the parts that you would be looking at? Like where would the turning points be when you look at your mock up?
So personally, I always have to take a look at bust area to usually take it in just a little bit. And then I usually end up needing to let out my bottoms a lot. So I will always go through there, and when I'm doing this, I'll make sure that I go evenly around every part except for like front underneath. I take out very little and I just let it out on the side so I keep a good lift and just a good hold on the girl so I don't have a malfunction.
Oh God,
Yeah.
no one wants a malfunction. No. Have you ever had one? Oh,
Yep.
same, same.
It's not fun.
It's not fun. Everyone laughs about it after the fact, and some other people got a show that you didn't really want to give a show, but they ain't fun.
Yep.
It's like, man, I got charged for that shit. Uh, so let's go into the kind of the psychology of it. Now that we have some technicalities and technical tips when it comes to cosplaying, um, let's talk about like how you feel in it. When here at the Forge, we definitely talk about body image, and we talk about like feeling good about yourself, regardless of what stage of anything you're in. The biggest mistake and one of the biggest inspirations with the rebrand here was the fact that like when I was training fitness for many years, it was the pattern of I don't feel good about myself. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna get a result. I'm gonna feel good about myself, and it never works because one, the process to get to the result takes longer than anyone anticipates. And if you take a shortcut, temporary means create temporary results, you're back to where you started. So the importance, and this is why I wanted to bring this up with you, was the importance of feeling good about yourself throughout the entire process, wherever you are on your journey. What? Hi, Alex. We're streaming right now. How you doing?
I'm tired. My legs hurt. I hate everyone. I gotta go to another show.
You have another show tonight?
Yeah. Third fucking event within 24 hours.
Awesome.
Sleep.
Awesome.
You don't know her.
You know what the best part is? You can rant whatever the fuck you want because all the only people that are gonna see it is streaming. I could outtake this.
Do you want to though?
Do I actually want to, Alex? Yes, I do.
Why?
Because it's about Tilly right now.
Oh, you don't want to talk about my problems and my sacrifices that I'm making your girlfriend?
Yes, because you get your own episode.
Do I? Do I really?
Yeah, you're gonna get your own episode.
Can we show my flap?
I mean, yeah, look at her. She's fucking amazing.
Tilly said you're fucking amazing.
Oh, I needed that today.
She's like, oh, I needed that today.
I push her, so I have titties for tonight's show. I'm trying to fuck Connor still.
Okay, you do that. Long story short, she is on her fourth show in a row.
No, third show in a row.
Third show in a row. She is a
Right, God.
she's a professional concert photographer, and she is on her third concert in a row, with her job as a PA.
Dude, I'm not
Yeah.
anymore. It's fucking fun. I'm just
I'm gonna find her because if she needs positivity, I'm gonna send her some positivity.
Miss Starfall is going to send you the positivity.
Dude, I need all positivity. My body hurts so much right now.
She needs all of it right now.
Dude, like I can't even bend down, like out, like wanting to wince in pain.
I know you want to into pain. It's okay. For those of you in the studio audience at Twitch, this is kind of the reason why I record it on Twitch and then just send it over because fun times. We ain't perfect. God, what is up with certain streamers that are like, oh wait, my stream is not perfect. Slap the "we'll be right back" button on and mute.
Bro, it's because we're not perfect. We're like the most fucked up people.
I mean, not gonna lie, I
Yeah.
totally understand it because when I do my videos, I used to be like that at the beginning.
Or be like, it's not perfect. Be right back. Just make sure you don't show too much. It is live.
Do you need us to be fully covered?
Okay, just making sure.
I was like, I'm fully covered.
I'm just making sure. But yeah, see, this is the fun part. We could actually just take a mental break. We're about to dive in deep, and we're like, okay,
Deep like
breathe.
mom.
Hey, not now. I'm on stream. She did your mom joke.
You walked into that one.
All right. Okay, so I'm gonna do a soft cut. That way, the kitty just doesn't just pop up and appear out of nowhere. But I'm gonna give myself the editing cue. All right. So yeah, about that. Okay, hold on. What?
I never forget what I'm asking now.
What?
I'm so sorry in advance.
What?
If I sell you $10, can you run into Jewel or Target and get chicken breast? Because I really want chicken breast for dinner.
Tonight?
Yes.
I'll try.
No.
I will
There
try.
you go.
You will.
I got.
I'm asking you nicely.
I
I'm
can't-
showing you titties.
I'm doing my best. I will do my best to get those to you. You don't have to bribe me with cleavage. I will do my best to get them for you. Don't look at me like that, okay?
I'll bribe Tilly with cleavage. It means like chicken nuggies or like.
I mean, I would be appreciative of being bribed with cleavage.
I definitely would if Twitch wasn't live. She appreciates it. I had to censor it just a little bit so I don't
It
get
wasn't
freaking.
even that bad. I'm wearing jeans. Like I'm fully covered.
I was not covering
You
your butt.
act like I'm a whore when I go to work.
We are though.
But I'm not when I go to work. I'm professional. I wore leggings and a skirt today. I was like a little Mormon. It was beautiful. I was like fully covered, like no skin was showing.
Don't act like you don't use your cleavage to leverage a good position on a shot sometimes.
Dude, tonight's all women.
Hey, we all
Girls are
do that.
gay. I got no luck. I'm trying to get in Connor's pants, remember?
Don't sit on Twitch, all right? You're gonna give away the secret.
What secret?
What if Connor watches this?
He's not!
Okay, just making sure.
No offense, he's gonna be like,
I mean, I don't see a Connor in the viewers list, but you know.
You know, just making sure. Just making sure. You never know. And God, and we get the occasional like hater on the oh my God, Alex and Troy's talking about their non-monogamy again.
Wait, I have a question that
Well,
I can't hear shit.
well,
so Troy's
yeah,
not
we
doing
did that too.
Cypher. Tilly, will you be the MJ to my black cat for a few concepts I really want to shoot that I never have time to actually get to?
Yes, I just struggle with having time off because I'm a workaholic.
Anthony Anderson 100. What did I walk into? I just clicked the link and it took me here. Yes, I heard something about cleavage. You have come to the right place, but it might go away.
Hey, Anthony.
How you doing, Anthony?
Just saying.
You know what? We all find you attractive. The problem is, I just want to make sure Twitch doesn't kick me out for all the hotness that's going on in the stream.
I saw that. Oh, there it is.
I am an agent of chaos and cleavage.
Oh, did you show you didn't have to?
What?
I mean, I would say Lord of Chaos sounds nicer, but that's just because, you know, DC.
That's true. That's true. Besides, like, I don't want to be a Lord of Chaos because then it's like it comes with responsibility, and that's like the antithesis of chaos. Agent of Chaos means I get like I get work hours.
True.
And we actually have to go back into our topic eventually. Anthony, well, you are a handsome fellow yourself, and on top of that, she is a cool mom. So yeah, double hotness. 2.5 hotness. My partner was over my shoulder, so she and Alex said she's 4-point hotness.
I'd agree.
Yep. All right, Miss Starfall agrees. So do I. We will eventually get back on topic. I will have so much outtake to wave through. It's okay.
Bruh, outtake's the best take.
Outtake is the best take sometimes. I will save the outtake. I'll save the break time. Okay. I gotta get back on, so if I don't say anything, love you.
I know that you do hate me.
Have a great day at work.
I'm gonna go kill someone.
Please don't. Please don't leave a body behind.
Oh, the body's behind. Like,
Don't leave all the bodies behind. You're not going to a Drowning Pool concert. Do not let the bodies hit the floor.
I get to go see Kevin.
Oh my God, we will get back on topic eventually. Sorry about that.
Autism.
I am okay. I love that when this happens, honestly.
Okay, I appreciate that because it's like we can't. Like if we wanted it like perfect, we wouldn't have streamed it.
Oh,
All right, so you have a great day at work while we get back on topic.
really quick.
What's up? What?
I'm gonna find my fluffin'
It's coming.
emojis here.
Yeah, I lost it.
Okay. Text it to me.
Oh, I will text you.
All right. Okay. I'll try to get us back on. Whenever you're ready, I'll snap us in.
I am ready.
Okay. Wabba Jack time. So yeah, body image, feeling good about yourself, feeling good about yourself into cosplays and just going to cons and stuff like that. Sometimes it is tough to feel like good about yourself when like you're in a convention in public. Tell me a little about the experiences you had with that, as well as like things you did to kind of help help maximize your mojo. Your mojo, baby.
For a long time, I've definitely struggled with weight. It took me until my junior year to get over 100 pounds. So I just try to keep that as like my middle marker of like, you're doing good, you're over this blocker, it's totally fine. But like, it still gets weird because like you get those people like, you don't look like X body character. And it's like, yeah, nobody does. Have you seen this character?
Oh gosh. Oh god. I'm like, ugh. They've done that kind of thing since Barbie. Like I'm talking early '90s Barbie. Like when you talk about new Barbie actually looks like human. And I'm not even talking about Margot
Why?
Robbie. I'm talking about the dolls. Like they actually look human. Like remember early '90s Barbie?
And tiny and just like, where are your bones?
Yeah. Where are your bones? You basically each of your boobs are the size of your head, and you wear a size 3 shoe. How are you standing? Going into anime, especially with anime characters, you know, the whole idea of the art is an exaggeration. Just going from a guy's perspective, um, Dragon Ball characters, God, like, like I'm talking like Boo Saga Z characters. I ain't talking about Super. Super looks somewhat normal, save for Broly, but like we're talking like Cell Saga, Boo Saga Z, where these guys, I'm 150 pounds of martial artist. No, you walking around like you 240.
Yeah, it looks like at that time the artist didn't actually do any anatomy studies on like this is what someone with that body type would actually look like.
And how could they actually fight?
Yeah.
Like, and don't get me wrong. So okay, we're talking 90s era, just Japanese culture. So let's talk like professional wrestlers of the early 90s era in Japan. They could have been big. They were in the 200s, but none of them were that ripped.
Right.
So you were either big and ripped. Well, so you have the three elements: big, ripped, actually can fight. You get two, not all three. You're either big and you can fight, you're ripped and you can fight, or you're big and you're ripped.
One of my favorite comparisons is like, let's take some of the characters from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I would not consider the way they look to be strong. I would consider them to be like I think it's the Schwarzenegger contest or something
Yes.
of like they have the look and aesthetic, but they're not gonna have the strength of like an actual strong man to do the shit that they do.
Exactly. Exactly. And the thing is, like, shout out to this one anime fitness YouTuber, Jax Blade. He explained a lot about the toughness, the tough aspect of physique for guys. It's a fact that it was based on whoever artist drew them. You're kind of at the mercy of the artist. And so that's why Henry Cavill had muscle suits. Now we're at the mercy of the anime artists for anime girls. God's fucking help you. Like,
Oh.
oh,
None of it is ever realistic. Like, I know girls in real life who have that size of a chest, but they are never up and perky. Everything is always flop.
it's supported. Like, oh god, it's Twitch. We could go PG-13 on this. If girls got girls like that, they probably have enough support to be bulletproof. Like you like and don't get me wrong, I love the girls. I love girls with the girls. I am that kind of dude. I will just say that straight up.
Same.
Alex is like perv. Starfall said same, so bite me. But like, we already know, like your bras are probably made of Kevlar to support you. Um, and on top of that, you know, the tiny waist with the bust. Come on now.
The only way I can achieve that is push-ups and padding.
Push-ups,
Fuck all
padding,
the
and
rest.
corsets, baby.
Yep.
And on top of that, the big trend nowadays in perverted artistry is the Bayonetta figure, which is so a 2 on the bust, a 1 on the waist, and a 3 in the ass.
Yeah, and it's like yeah, I've met girls who have that nice of a dump truck, but they have to work so hard every day just to maintain it that it's like this is not feasible on a normal level.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about that. Just talk about breaking illusions and taking these physiques and figures back into the real world. We have a couple comments down into on Twitch.
Yeah.
Tanashi say waist trainers. I definitely wear tight body covers when cosplaying to push the right stuff in and out. Absolutely, yes.
Like I'm actually wearing one of my compression garments right now because I like the way it helps everything just stay where it needs to be.
Yes, yes, absolutely. For us fellas, sometimes some guys will wear waist trainers. One thing I like to do is wear things that fit sternum up, loose sternum down, and that's kind of how I like to go. And and I hate how the gym bros have abused the fashion of sleeveless hoodies, but I love sleeveless hoodies. Like shout out to Just Saying Gear. They make a lot of anime based workout apparel, but I only get their sleeveless hoodies because I'm like, you let out what you want to let out, you hide what you want to hide. Um,
Yep.
and so okay, yeah, we're talking about the practicalities of the cosplay to help you feel your best. Because yeah, image is tough, and when people see a lot more animated figures, don't see IRL, and people trying to make that IRL and be anatomically correct or at least anatomically feasible to live, it throws people off. It throws people way off. Have you ever had like an occasional hater, like occasional nitpicker of like, oh my god, your girls aren't big enough, your waist ain't small enough, you're too short,
I
too
had it
tall?
happen a lot with my Scanty Damon because she has massive girls and I am only a B cup at best. So like even with my push-up, I was still
Pitiful of
getting the
me, jeez.
comments of like they're not enough, and it's like granted I was at Bikini Con at Prime, but still it's like no, those comments are not appropriate.
No. Yeah, for one thing, they're not appropriate. For another thing, they can mess with your head a little bit. And you have to
Like
imagine.
on Instagram, I specifically have it set up under like blocked words and comments so that anything remotely going to like body type is just automatically deleted and filtered out. And it helps so much.
I'm letting my reaction face stick a little bit longer than it naturally is because I'm going to clip this later. That
It's important. Like I've met a lot of people who did not know you could do that with different social medias. And it's like, yeah, you can filter comments so you can remove comments that you get repeatedly. And I get body comments very often.
and so you could actually filter it out of your social media to oh my god, that is amazing.
Yep.
Oh
Like
yeah.
that was one of the biggest things I had to do just to help my own mental health and stay on social media.
And that's the thing. That's the tough part. And we'll dive more into this tangent as well in a second because it's so important to like yeah we get it in the cosplay community social media is very important. It's almost I don't want to say it's almost essential, but let's be honest. It's pretty essential. Like unless you are known for one awesome amazing cosplay that you attend every year. So there's this one guy who doesn't have social media, who cosplays the Joker at every single Chicago con.
Are there
Oh,
surprised to be cosplay for that? Or,
Yep, and because he's a med, yes, yeah, it is Alex, and because he's a med student, he doesn't do much social media because he's too damn busy.
His Instagram.
What's up?
You know, his Instagram says his girlfriend or his
Blame him.
That too.
So that was cute if he was.
That too. So like, yeah. So let's talk a little bit about that, like how to navigate social situations, both in media and offline, to keep your headspace intact and keep your skin thick, because you chink it enough, it starts chipping.
Yeah. My biggest thing is definitely like locking down your socials. Like most people are gonna understand what things kind of push them. And unfortunately, we cannot trust other people to just be like, hey, saying this rude comment does not do me anything. So lock it down yourself first. And then, like, as you're going through life and people, if you notice somebody's constantly crossing a boundary or something that you don't enjoy, cut them. It does not matter. Just get them out.
Yeah. Yeah. So just basically, yeah. Starfall said bye.
Oh my.
She says bye. So like, yeah, absolutely. Like, cut it out if you're I usually like to say cut the comment, and if they want to bring back the comment, cut the person.
Yep.
Because there's so many times where
I
I'm like,
have done it a lot, especially over the last 5 years. And cutting out the people I've removed has helped me so much.
yeah. There was one method that I used to do back in the day. I still do actually. It makes it both playful, but at the same time serious, and I call it calling fouls. If somebody says an over the line comment, first off, you're checking their tonality. If they said it like jokingly or said super casually and they didn't think it was gonna affect you, I'm like, yo, foul, foul. And I'll have that weird look on my face like, seriously though, not cool. I'll be like, foul.
Mhm.
And then and if they're like, what? Then you could explain to them, hey, look, that wasn't cool. They got to me, triggered me like this. Most of the time they're cool. They're like, I'm sorry. All right, cool. All right, I understand. My bad. Boom. But like sports, if you foul enough times, you're ejected from the game.
Yep.
Like you can't foul the same way twice without getting benched. You can't foul the same way 3 times before the ref ejects you. So,
And like after a while, if you had the talk with a person plenty of times and they just keep going, it's like, okay, you're obviously not going to respect me to not do this. We're just gonna stop here.
yeah, exactly. You have been voted off the island. You have been voted off my island. Going into the comments really quick.
Yes, I'm pulling up
Yeah.
comments too, so
Yeah.
it's easier for me to
Yeah,
read.
exactly. Anthony, wait, you're serious? You get to buy comments? I'm shocked. You should see my Insta. Yeah, it does happen. I get roasted every day because I'm medium skinny, despite having a little muscle. Yeah. Nobody's the both. Let's just say all genders. All genders have really, really, really weird body standards, and it's easier for haters, people who are bored, people who are self-loathing, to nitpick. It happens. For the most part, I like to say that the only 2 types of people that ever see your flaws are yourself and your haters. For the most part,
Yep.
everyone else is only going to see your strengths, and they're only going to see the best parts about you. And sometimes the best parts about you are things you don't notice or things you take for granted. So going into headspace, you say manage your socials, manage your people, just put the foot down. Establish a boundary, pop them if they
So
don't
the
respect
best
it.
question from Anthony
Yeah.
is, how do you like lay out the boundaries? And
Yeah, please.
the best way I can explain it would be like background thing on me. I do not allow anyone around me to talk about my birth giver for abuse reasons. I have had people in the past just be like, "Oh, dude, you're totally acting like your birth giver." And it's just like, stop.
Ooh.
If you say that again, I am walking away and we are not talking ever. I have had people be like, "Well,
Ooh.
you can't stop me from saying what I want to say." It's like, you're right. I cannot, but if you say this, I am leaving. And that is kind of the best thing you can do is like, okay, you can do X, but that means me gone.
Yeah, you just gotta have. Sometimes you have to respecify the rules. So let's call it the rules of engagement, the rules of healthy friendship. Let's just say,
Yeah.
and if that is that if that's a foul, that's a foul. If that is a flagrant foul, that's then like even in sports they have more severe fouls than others. They have flagrant fouls. They have 5-minute penalty boxes. They have one offense you out.
Yeah.
Um, yes, people have the right to say whatever the heck they want, but they also have a right to the consequence.
Yeah. And I've learned majority of the time, the people who will complain about a boundary are upset that they're getting consequences for their actions, not for what's going on.
Exactly, and a lot of times that's an ego. That's an ego thing. That's definitely an ego thing because the ego wants you to. The ego would want oneself to be able to run around free roam, without any ramifications. That's just kind of how the ego works. So, yeah, if either human's a piece of shit or their ego is taken over, you establish that boundary. Any other thoughts about it? We're hot on this one.
Let's see, sticking on the body positivity part
Yes, please.
is find people who will push you and hype you up. Like, I get a lot of people enjoy self-deprecating humor. I do it too, but a key thing is the friends around me will just be like, "Yeah, you are, but you still pretty, bitch." As like,
You are still
yeah,
pretty, bitch.
like I feel like I'm a little more bloated today. Yeah, but you still cute. It's like you want people with that energy because personally, if you're putting each other down in a friendship a lot,
Yeah.
eventually it's not going to feel like playful ribbing. It's going to be
No.
like, they say this all the time,
Yeah, it's
so
a
I
pot
guess they
shot.
might
Yeah.
be right.
Exactly. It might be a pot shot. It might be them taking shots, in disguise as playful ribbing. And yeah,
Yeah,
I've had former friends like that. That's exactly how they do. And I would like to say, yeah, you gotta learn your dynamic, but at the same time, I don't think that's a dynamic that must be learned. It's like, yo, balance your shit, balance your
right.
input. If you are gonna give somebody shit, you better at least give them the compliment sandwich. Be like, girl, why are you working so hard? You still cute though. But yeah, it's like uh, yeah, exactly. And shout outs to one of our mutual friends who hypes the both of us up in a massive way. Haley Stein, our personal feral Tamagotchi. Haley, we both love you. We wanna say I'm gonna speak for Starfall on behalf of both of us. I shouldn't be mansplaining anything, but we both love you. We both adore you. We both love the way you hype us, the both of us up. And this was a prime example, right? When she said that, I was like, Haley, fucking Haley,
Yep.
fucking Haley. So I'll clip that, but that's definitely a big shout out on that one, and just to drive home the point, have your entourage, guys. Even if your entourage is basic, even if it's an entourage of one. Sometimes Ash only had a Pikachu, and that's all he rolled with. Still works.
Yeah.
He's retiring a champion after 25 years of service. He's retiring at 10 years old. Figure that out. But oh god, sorry, tangent. So
Or you can also good.
what's up?
Nah, Haley is a person that I love because she follows like one of the rules that I enjoy, which is like aggressive positivity and doing good recklessly. It's like
Yes.
nobody gains anything from putting down their friends. So
No.
it's like hype them up, make them feel good.
Yeah.
And then like you see their smile and you're just like, I caused that. That makes me feel good. Oh, the happy.
Yes. I feel happy just hearing it. Excellent, man. Dang, we dropped the mic on that. So now let's say this: you have your built cosplay. It's built from the outside and then the inside. It's fitting you. You're feeling it. You have your entourage. You have your boundaries. You're going to the con now. As queen of the Midwest Anime Con, what are some tips and tricks for a con patron to have a successful con, whether it's a 1 day or a 1 weekend?
Shower every morning.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I try to shower every morning of a con because it helps me feel refreshed. If I can't shower or something, like I have wipes that I can just be like, do, done, let's go.
Yeah.
Water. God, what was the number ratio? I think it was 6 to 1. One shower a day, at least 2 meals a day, and at least 6 hours of sleep every day.
Boom. 1, 2, 6,
Because
six,
you're
two,
not,
one.
if you're hangry, thirsty, migraines, self-care helps your con experience just be so much better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Let's reiterate that for the clip. 1 shower, 2 meals, 6 bottles of water. Night showers for the win. You know what? If you're at a con and you're staying at the con hotel, you ain't paying for the damn water bill. Do 2 showers.
Right?
I get it. I get it. You want to rinse off the day. At the same time,
That's
also,
policy.
yeah.
Hot water at a hotel. It's so nice.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Get that hotel water steamy. Um, yeah. There's been many times where we've done refreshers. Like you know how there's always a con after party. Um, there's been friends of mine. Shout out to Michael and Laura of Cos Meetup, who are big advocates of the hotel pool. Just they feel ran down after a day at the con. I remember Laura herself. She's like, "Find me a pool. Find me a pool. Let me get into the pool." Okay, I feel happy again. And yeah, a night shower, sure, it's practicality, but that's that feeling of buoyancy and water after a con day. You know, I'm not saying I do that all the time. I have done it on a couple of times that I roomed with Michael and Laura, and I see that like any way that you can refresh yourself and give yourself that pit stop, huge, huge, huge. What else? What else? No, you're the queen. You've seen cons in and out, and you've seen the ugly, you've seen the beautiful. What have you learned from all that?
Oh, as a con goer, reading a con's code of conduct. Like every con has different things that you can and can't do.
Yes.
Like Amki, stickers and passing out food are not allowed at all. Because, well, people like to stick stickers where they shouldn't belong. We get charged for the damages. Which honestly, that one is like a common sense respect thing to me, but it still happens. And then like I recently went to Detour for the first time, and we had people walking around and they're allowed to hand out food. They're allowed to help each other with like waters and stuff. And it's just like, aren't you gonna get in trouble? No. Are you sure?
So yeah, it's different for every single con, every single state, every single vibe. Um,
Yep.
in fact, I think weren't there different rules at ClassicCon North compared to Amkey?
Cosplay wise, I actually rewrote. Well, this is a fun one.
Please.
I was initially brought into the Colossals because their board of directors was like, "Hey, you do a really great job at Amkey. Can you help us see where our contest needs to improve?"
Ooh.
So they brought me in as a judge, and like this was wild because they paid for everything for me, travel, hotel, all that
Nice.
jazz, and they were just like, "See how we do things and tell us how it's going." Like I got to audit all their things, go through their rule book, their codes of conduct, and it's like, you guys are missing a lot of things, and there's stuff you're letting happen that are against your rules, so rewrite all of this. And honestly, I used Anime Milwaukee as a base because personally, I love our rulebook and I think it's one of the best you're gonna find.
Boom. Boom.
We have it locked down. It is airtight just to help the contestants have a good time while also letting us shut down any bad behavior instantly. And like that year, I saw a lot of bad behavior between contestants that it's like, yeah, I was the runner. You both would be gone for what you're saying.
Yeah.
So like I gave that to them. They made updates, and now like at least those ones are all connected in the rule book so that you're gonna have the similar time at each one.
So if I'm understanding the story correctly, basically you brought in, you saw what was wrong, you overhauled it. It got spicy before it got better.
Yes.
Okay, that makes a lot of
And
sense.
like there's still stuff that needs to be fixed, but thankfully majority of it is on like staff relearning how to roll with the new rules.
Hmm.
And it's like it's gonna take time. When changes happen, you're just not gonna adapt in an instant.
Yeah, and a lot of times with change, you adaptation adaptation is an effort. When you're usually on autopilot, that you got like think about it like, oh wait, I have to do this now. And I've noticed that the convention rules of conduct different at Anki compared to different from ClassiCon. It did now in retrospect. I'm like, yeah, I did see some similarities. Maybe I didn't notice them because the layout of the whole con was different. Because Kalahari and Milwaukee, whoa, that was different. Two different worlds, but
They
it was
are
still a fun time.
so different.
And then the conduct at C2, to compare it, I'm like, what is this? uh,
C2E2's contest is just a whole nother level of wow.
it, as a runner, and you know what? Hey, screw Repop. I don't care if they get offended. Good, bad, or ugly. Wow.
A very good wow, especially comparing this year to their previous year.
Got it. Okay. Got it. I thought you knew something I didn't. I'm like, well, I don't, because C2 is usually my home con. I don't notice any big differences like with Kodokan. And the thing I noticed at C2 was they moved the red carpet to a picnic area and then ditched the red carpet for the rest of the con. That's the only thing I noticed. But like everything else
Yeah,
was
and that sucked.
rip red carpet. Now it's a picnic carpet. Um, but, but yeah, with code of conduct and stuff like that, it looks like they were starting to get better. Maybe it was just COVID. Who knows? Maybe it was just, hey, the pandemic was a catalyst to change things as life is.
Well, honestly, with how the pandemic affected cons and just the way they returned was really weird. Like, uh, I'm
Oh,
afraid to
please
say the name, but I know you can also bleep it out.
go for it.
Like a whole wheat Pete.
Oh, jeez.
See, you already know. And it's like, sure, online watching that kind of stupidity can be funny, but the moment he brought his antics and the only honest word I can use is assaults to a con is when it's just like, no.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because of like online stupidity like that and people seeing it connected to con scene,
Yeah.
it has become a bit more widespread to where our codes of conduct are needing to be like nailed down even harder.
Oof, yeah. Yeah.
And it's also going to hurt the good con goers too.
Well, that's the weird thing. It's like, again, I don't want to use the word normies, but like an outsider trying to put an outsider's perspective on a niche for the sake of comedy. Like
Yeah.
that's me going to a bodybuilding show and going to be like, oh, look at all these meatheads. Um, Keep in mind, I worked in fitness for 15 years. All right, so I've always been the tiny guy in the fitness world. But you take me to freaking Arnold Sports Festival, and if I acted like that at the Arnold, yeah, you know, um, yeah, and I'm glad the codes of conduct are there, and especially for those who are new to con scenes, look them up. There's some surprises there, and a lot of times, some surprise rules are interesting because if you do get curious as to why that's a rule, there's usually really an interesting story behind it. If you know an organizer and you're new to the con scene and you see a really weird rule, you could go up to your organizer and like, why the hell is this a rule? And they'll probably tell you a really crazy time. And
Like I talked to one guy, it's like, hey, like weird question. Why don't you guys allow drones in this area? And he's like, we had one set off a sprinkler. It damaged a lot of the arcade.
oh no!
Yeah,
Drone popped the sprinkler. Sprinkler fried the cabinets.
yeah.
I'm surprised someone got
And
electrocuted
some
to
of them
death.
were old vintage cabinets too. So it's even worse because you probably could not replace them.
Oh no! Oh.
It was bad.
Oh. And one of these days we'll meet up in person, and I will read your entire rules of conduct, and I'll be like, "Yeah, Starfall. Why this rule? What story? What story behind this rule? What story behind this rule? What story behind this rule? All right, what idiot made us make this rule? Because I will not name names, but I know. But the first time I've ever heard of something like this was at Amkey's the Amkey sticker rule. It was like the Amkey sticker and food rule. When I asked you, and I'm not gonna share it online, but when I asked you the story behind that rule, I'm like, really?
Yep.
Well,
That one was so bad.
yeah, not diving into details for the live audience or for YouTube, but let's just say a band of idiots ruined stickers and food passing for the rest of us.
Yep.
DM one of us at Trebuchet or at Starfall Cosplay if you want the details of that story, but yeah, the idiots ruin it for the rest of us. Whew. But yeah, read your code of conduct, guys. Which would then dive us into the last question that I have written down, because God knows our tangents. We're already like beyond an hour. Wait, no. Yeah, about an hour out. Whew. Yeah, hour 15, hour 16. Shit, we are on fire tonight. What are some etiquette tips that are... First off, shoot me a couple common sense etiquette tips for the sake of our audience, and then shoot us a couple uncommon etiquette tips that you wouldn't know unless you went to a con or two, made this mistake. Shout out to a couple of my cosplay friends and cosplay scene friends who have made a couple mistakes, but we had to sit them down to be like, yo.
I would say the screaming, just don't do it. We get it. You're excited. Oh my God, it's that character, but normal volume.
Yes.
Everyone appreciates it because you don't know who around you might be either hungover or just have a headache. And then, just being aware of where you are in the con space so you don't accidentally run over or step on something. Just, being kind to the people around you.
Absolutely. The ride on that. If you don't have spatial awareness, get a handler. Like shout out to Pocketful of Ash, who was a handler of a Chainsaw Man cosplayer. From the meetup in Amkey. And I was looking at that Chainsaw Man cosplayer. I'm like, how the heck do you see anything out of that thing?
It's like, I don't.
You don't. You don't. But like, no, I could definitely see that, and I can see excitement. I was about to mention, my partner Alex. She actually, is part of on the autism spectrum. So sudden noises, sudden crashes, big booms, crashes, and like that. No, big no.
Yep.
So if you have any sort of
And like I even like to point out for that one, it's not just people who are on like the autistic spectrum. For those of us who have PTSD related issues, anything like that can just floor the people around you.
Oh yeah, and you'd be surprised the amount of PTSD from crashes, big noises, and big pops. That's insane. But yeah, watch the noise, watch the sudden spikes of volume. Watch your space. I'm sure we're forgetting etiquette because we've just been in cons for so long. Can I touch you? That one.
Oh God, I hate that one so much. Never touch another person until you've asked.
Yeah.
And then you even have to remember, like, keep it appropriate. If you're like, hey, can we get a hug together or X, Y, or Z?
Yeah.
Only do the thing you ask. Like, I remember way back, I did a demon cheerleader cosplay with my friend as an angel cheerleader. And we had this guy cosplaying as he said it was Blue Mountain State. I don't know what it is.
Sad.
I guess something about football.
Yeah, so Blue Mountain State was this, oh god. So Blue Mountain State's a early to mid 2000s frat boy TV series. In the vein of American Pie, and like American Pie meets college football is essentially what I would describe Blue Mountain State. So if this guy, don't tell me this guy came in as a character from Blue Mountain State.
Yeah, he had like the
No.
full football uniform paddings and everything. They're just like, yo, cute cheerleaders, can I get a picture? And it's like, sure. So like I just stood there and then instantly I'm just like squashed in and all I can smell is beer and BO and it's just like I don't want to be here anymore.
I need a shower, and so does my cosplay.
Yeah.
Beer and BO from Blue Mountain State. That sounds exactly on brand. And I'm sorry. I apologize for that situation. Just for the sheer fact of like I'm getting flashbacks to that show. That's that early 2000s toxic masculinity show that like Spike TV loved, and then Netflix took on. Yeah.
Oh, that does not sound pleasant.
No. The 2000s were weird.
They
um,
really were.
They were weird. So yeah, definitely when it comes to like physical contact, definitely ask permission. Line of sight. Going back to my partner, Alex. She has, because of her sensory issues, the one thing she doesn't like, even with platonic friends, is phantom hugs. So don't
Mm.
walk up behind her for a hug. Like you can be best
Yeah.
friends, and you will ruin it by giving her any phantom touch that she doesn't see coming. Nope. Might as well just assume that with anybody, because
Right.
remember, have you ever seen those awkward situations of like just somebody just touching you from behind? At first, you're like, "Ooh, how you doing?" Oh, you are not who I thought you were. What the fuck?
Yeah.
um,
Uh,
God.
uh,
Anthony,
I'm
wait,
good.
what show has toxic masculinity? Oh, what show doesn't in the 2000s? We are talking Blue Mountain State. We are talking. I blocked out most of those toxic masculine shows in my head. I don't want to throw Entourage under the bus because at its heart it was a good show. It was a wholesome show, but it had edges of toxic masculinity back then. Um, most of the American Pie series, uh, Euro Trip. Scotty does it. No, that Fiona and me. Yeah. So, was this Blue Mountain State cosplayer at an anime con with a Blue Mountain State cosplay?
Yep.
What? I said we were.
That
Oh,
was Daisho 19, the very last one.
oh boy. Jeez. Okay. Okay. Well, now that you are the queen of ClassCon North, the reincarnated Daisho, we're gonna make it good. We're gonna make it powerful. Yeah. And before we drop the mic on today's evening, first off, Starfall, thank you so freaking much for not only coming on this show, helping me relaunch the podcast and bringing in your people, and for those of you who knew Starfall before meeting me at this show and on the stream, thank you so much for coming on and supporting your girl. It was pleasant to meet all of you guys. I hope to talk to you guys soon. And again, thank you for going into overtime with me. I didn't know how long we were going to take. I scripted 45 minutes to an hour, and even without takes, we went hard. We went ham. And let's do some plugs. First off, where can they find you on socials?
I am on pretty much every social platform. Whether I use it consistently is the problem.
Twitter.
I say my main is probably Instagram, Etsy, and YouTube right now.
Yes. Oh, you do YouTube videos, yeah. So yeah, check Instagram on the main, on the frequents. YouTube's for the longer. You said are you gonna be doing tutorials on YouTube videos as well? Is that something that we're gonna be seeing?
I do tutorials, and I'm planning to start getting into a monthly prop series. I just need to get the time to actually start going on it.
Because you're actually busy doing the props.
Yeah.
Ironic, you don't have time to talk about the thing because you're doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then the two name the anime cons that you run. You are the queen of cons. I wasn't lying. Which are the cons that you are ruling over at the moment?
Currently, they are Anime Milwaukee. I am the head of all cosplay events happening for them. And then same thing for Colossal Con North.
Awesome. Those are both Wisconsin based cons. or Amici in Milwaukee, obviously, and then Wisconsin Dells Kalahari Resort. Do you have an estimation of the dates of those cons?
I, oh gosh, I know that Colossal Con North is going to be the same weekend that Dice Show always was, so the weekend before Thanksgiving.
Awesome.
For Anime Milwaukee, we are going to be March 8th to the 10th next year because we
Ooh,
decided to move back a month.
that's fine. That's fine. Let the con scene spread out a bit. Jeez, let's get some breathing room, people, because we got a lot of cons. So many cons, so little time, so little budget.
Ooh,
Yeah. So perfect. Yeah, check her out on Instagram. Check her out on YouTube. Go to the Wisconsin-based cons of ClassCon North, AMKey. But if for those who want to keep track of what we're doing here at the Heroes Forge podcast, go ahead, follow me, Heroes Forge Coach on YouTube, Troy Bushido on YouTube, Troy Bushido, as well as Heroes Forge Coach on Instagram. And yeah, thank you guys for coming in. We will see you guys next time. Just remember, let out your inner hero, change your own world. We're cut off a recording for you guys on Twitch. Personally, thank you guys so much. For those of you guys on Twitch, JXO Texas, how you doing? Anthony Anderson, thank you again for your insight. I'm gonna pronounce this right. I keep trying to say Tanisha, but
Tanoshi.
Tanoshi USA, thank you for your input. Thank you for contributing to the conversation. Shout out to Zach as well. Thank you guys all for coming on in. Like I said, we're just recording this on a stream. You know, it's like filming a sitcom in front of a live studio audience. Thank you for being an awesome studio audience, contributing to the discussions. Mustafa, how you feeling? How are you feeling?
I am aching so bad.
What can we do? Do I gotta send
Oh,
like an army of massage therapists?
oh God, I wish. Oh,
We'll spoil you,
I'm
Queen.
still
We'll spoil
trying
you.
to work out, but like doing any workouts on a broken foot fucking suck.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Like any workouts around injuries just suck. Like, shout out to Forge's Coach Mac. She broke her kneecap, and she's still working
Oh,
out. I forgot what the accident was. It was cosplay related. It was her being muscle mommy, and then an accident happened. Yeah.
oh.
So shout out to Coach Mac. We know you're still working out. Still get swell, girl. But really, really mind your knee, girl. But yeah, working around injuries, they suck. But man, you guys, everyone's been awesome. I will have this episode in the editor, hopefully fired up by this coming Tuesday on YouTube. Fingers crossed. So yeah, I'll definitely get it into next week, and hopefully we'll have some clips popped from it. I usually try to pop at least 1 to 3 clips per big long episode. We had next to no bloopers. I just got to cut out Alex's entrance and exit because like no one could hear Alex because she was off mic. Did you have a good time, my lady?
I did. This was really fun, and honestly, it was much nicer than other podcasts that I've been on.
Really? Because I was literally making this shit up.
I mean, I think it's good that you actually made a pre-planned script and you tried to stick to some of your talking points. Because I've been on some podcasts that are supposed to be anime, but then all of a sudden the runner is talking about like wrestling lore, and it's just like, I know
Oh
nothing about
no.
this.
I always say I'd rather have rules to break than no rules at all. Yeah. So, and I am actually, the full disclosure for you and for a Twitch audience, I just got on a new ADHD med. So my brain is in this weird existential crisis of being self-aware of when I go off tangent. Where
Right?
back in the day, I wasn't as always aware of going off tangent. So I've been in this headspace of like feeling it's like the thought is a ghost and I wrangling them back in. Like, we're going off tangent. Okay, focus. Going off tangent. Going focus. So thank you for adapting with me, and I'm glad this was a great experience. I'm glad we still had a great amount of input, and I, as your friend, and as associates in the cosplay in the community space, I am Your biggest fan. You know this. I am your
Appreciate you.
I am your emotional simp in every step of the word. Sorry, mommy. Sorry, mommy. Sorry, mommy. Uh, but I'll let you get up and out there. We'll say bye to the Twitch audience before I say bye to you guys on Twitch. Once again, thank you so much. If you want to pop me a follow on Twitch, we'll be doing more podcasts like this where we will be doing interviews. I'm trying to do at least one interview a month, a guested episode a month. If I could get two, that'd be great. And then I'll be doing mini episodes for just self-help tips. We'll be doing a little bit of gaming streaming every now and then. I don't consider myself a Twitch stream gamer, guys, but I've done a little bit of it. One idea we may be doing is a Dungeons and Dragons world building stream called Chat GM. I've been on this massive ChatGPT kick. It's literally been making campaign settings out of scratch with me.
Nice.
And I'm like, now I need players. Like Haley came over the other day, and she got scared because I literally showed her the chat log of me and GPT building a world, and ChatGPT is just a language AI that just takes writing and makes stuff out of it. And I'm like, let's do this, let's do that, and then it's talking back to me like, okay, let's name it this world. Oh, let's do this government. I'm like, wait, no, that doesn't work. Oh, sorry about that. The chat goes, oh, sorry about that. Let's revise it to this. I'm like, Haley's looking at this like, oh my God, it's too smart. It's going to take over. Oh my God, it's too good. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I call it Chat GM. But that's D&D. That's my D&D rant. I literally, other than work and scripting our episodes, that's what I've been doing. And I'm like, oh God. This is for anyone who's working with ChatGPT in the audience. My biggest tip is talk to it like a human being and get scared, because it's going to talk to you like a human being just back. Right back. It's going to talk like an artificial human. But anyway, I'll let the stream live audience go before I let you go. Guys on stream, thank you again. We will talk to you all soon. Have a great night, streamers.